lately, whatever it is for the last 10 years, it's this topspin. Everybody's a topspin. You know, it drives me nuts because it drives me nuts. That's why I call that ball an academy ball. Because if you go to an academy, any academy you go to, I don't care who it is, if you hit a ball in the net because you drive it, they'll pay you to hit it 6, 8 feet over the net, the topspin. Some kids even put a rope about 6, 8 feet above the net so you can hit over the rope. I mean, you got to be nuts to do that.
All right, so let's stop there for a second. So now we're watching all the new technology, and they're showing the average height of the ball off the ground for the top 4 players, and they'll do this consistently. They'll compare Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, and Murray, and almost all of their balls are about 5 to 6 feet off the ground, which would only be 3 feet above the net, 2, 3 feet above.
Wait. Are they above? Wait. If they're 5 feet above the ground, it means they're 2 feet above the net.
Correct.
The net is 3 feet. So if you're talking about 5 feet off the ground, that means they're 2 feet above the net. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Okay. So does that indicate a very well-driven ball, like you're talking about?
Right. Exactly. Sorry for interrupting, but what has happened, the pure flat ball doesn't really exist that much anymore, okay? It still exists with the girls, and it still exists in a lot of two-handed backhands. The two-handed backhand, and people leave the two-handed backhand alone. They don't change the two-handed backhand into a heavy topspin backhand because the girls are so good to that two-handed backhand. And they rip it. I mean, they just rip the ball, and nobody says anything about it. But once they go to the forehand, now you're going to hit that heavy topspin. I think it's crazy. But I think the guys don't hit the ball, and they don't hit the ball 5, 6 feet above the net. Above the ground, that's like 2 feet. That's probably what it is, 2.5 feet. They did a survey of Clijsters when she played the match. And her balls are averaged about 2 to 2.5 feet above the net. And here they talk about hitting the ball 6 feet over the net. I mean, there's so much to this because I sometimes do it on purpose. I tell kids to hit an academy ball. And when they're 11 years old, 12 years old, I tell them, I want you to learn to do this. I want you to be able to hit an academy ball because in the matches you play, when you can hit a chase of pace and you hit the ball like 5 feet over the net, the tops it, and pushes your opponent back. But you cannot use that as a shot that you have in the future because it's not going to work. You have to learn to drive the ball. You have to learn how to drive the ball, roll it over the net, and not be afraid. And what they do is they teach kids to hit the ball 5, 6 feet over the net. When these kids are 12 years old, 13 years old, they will not have the confidence to be able to hit the ball hard and low. So you got to start early with that, And I believe in consistency, and then I believe in placement, and I believe in power. Those are the 3 I believe in. So consistency is it. If you have no consistency, go bowling. It ain't going to work. You're not going to be a tennis player. You will never become a tennis player. If you don't have consistency, it's not going to work. Okay?
All right, now this is where we have to reconcile something because I've never really truly understood how you can be an incredibly powerful player and then you put the consistency together with the power. But if you're playing very powerfully, then you're going to have some aggressive errors. So does that fall within the idea of consistency?
Well, again, you're talking about the better players. You talk about the Sampras and the Marias. You're talking about the Djokovic's, right? Those are the ones you're talking about, right?
Well, no. What I'm talking about are players who are developing, and like for instance, take Federer, okay? And from what I'm hearing, when he was 15, 16 years old, he would hit one great shot, and then he would make 5 bad errors, and people thought he would never amount to anything. So he had to go through So it seems to me that players who play very aggressively have to accept that they're going to make some errors until they reach that level of consistency. What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, that's true, but that's he have a talent. I don't know about Federer. I don't know. I saw when he was, how old was he when he first played his Davis Cup? I think he was like 16 or 17. I mean, he played. I was in Basel and I'd watch him play. I don't know who he played, Roddick maybe. And I was impressed by the way he played. So I don't know enough about it. I just know that when you discipline somebody, okay,